So when the temperatures start to drop and it starts getting chilly out there, there truly is nothing better than a heartwarming dish that warms your soul and fills your body with so much goodness. Anyways, today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're making un potaje de verduras. This is Spain's version of a delicious vegetable stew. And let me tell you, it's got a ton of flavors to it. It's very nutritious for you, and it's all done in about 40 minutes. You know, folks, like I tell you, it's recipes like this that truly represent the Spanish kitchen. No fancy equipment, no tricky techniques, just honest home cooking that packs a ton of goodness. All right, let's begin by getting our vegetables ready. I'm gonna roughly chop 1 medium-sized onion, thinly slice 4 cloves of garlic, and cut 1 red and 1 green bell pepper into small bite-sized pieces. And we'll also thinly slice 1 carrot that's been peeled, and cut 8 button mushrooms that have been washed and patted dry into 1/4 inch thick slices, which is a little over 1/2 centimeter. For the next step, let's start cooking our dish. I'm gonna heat a stock pot with a medium-high heat and add in 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 60 milliliters. After about 1 minute, I'm gonna add in all the chopped vegetables, and we'll mix them around. That way they're all coated in that olive oil. And since we're working on a medium-high heat here, it's important to mix the vegetables around continuously. That way they all evenly saute. After about 5 minutes and the vegetables are lightly sauteed, I'm gonna add in a generous 1 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 2.5 grams, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, which is about 1/2 gram, and 1 tablespoon of sherry vinegar, which is 15 milliliters. For this recipe, you can use whatever vinegar you like. And we'll give it a mix, that way everything's well mixed together. As always, the Spanish paprika that I'm using is from Kiva. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below, and if you buy it from that link, you'll also get 25% off your order. Then we'll add in 1/2 cup of tomato sauce, which is about 125 grams. And we'll give it a mix and then simmer it for a couple minutes. As always, the tomato sauce that I'm using, I made by finely grating fresh tomatoes, but you can also use passata, canned tomato sauce, or even Spanish tomate frito. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut 4 small potatoes that have been peeled, washed, and patted dry into bite-sized pieces that are 1/2 inch thick, which is about 1 1/4 centimeters. After cooking the tomato sauce for about 3 minutes and it's thickened up, I'm gonna add in the pieces of potato, and we'll season generously with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a mix until everything's well mixed together. Then we'll add in some cold water into the stock pot, just enough to cover the ingredients by 1/2 inch, which once again is 1 1/4 centimeters. To make this stew, you can also use broth. I just prefer to use the water, that way it doesn't overpower the flavor of the vegetables. And we'll also add in 2 bay leaves. And we'll give it a mix and bring the water to a boil. Once the water comes to a boil, I'm gonna place the lid on the stock pot, and we'll lower the fire to a low-medium heat, and we're gonna simmer this between 15 to 20 minutes or until the potatoes are fully cooked through. In the meantime, I'm gonna heat a small fry pan with a medium heat and add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. While the olive oil is heating, I'm gonna cut 2 slices from a baguette that are 1 inch thick, which is 2.5 centimeters, and cut each slice into small squares. And we'll also remove the skins from 2 cloves of garlic. Then we'll add in the cloves of garlic and the pieces of baguette into the pan with the hot olive oil. And we'll give it a mix, that way everything's coated in the olive oil, and we're gonna go for about 2 to 3 minutes here until the ingredients are golden fried. Then we'll remove the pan from the heat and transfer everything into a mortar. For this step, you can also use a food processor or even a handheld blender. Then we'll pinch in 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams. As always, the saffron I'm using is from Golden Saffron. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. as well as 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley, which is 8 grams, and a kiss of sea salt. And using a pestle, we'll pound down on the ingredients until we form a paste-like texture. Alright, let's move back to our stew. It's been simmering between 15 to 20 minutes, and at this point, the potatoes should be fully cooked through. You know, you can always pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in there, they are ready to go. If you see that your potatoes are still a little tough, you simmer it for a couple more minutes. For the next step, I'm going to add in the garlic and bread mixture into the stew. And we'll give this one final mix, that way everything's well mixed together. And let me tell you that garlic and bread mixture is not only gonna thicken the stew, but it's gonna give it the most incredible lift of flavors. Then we'll remove the stock pot from the heat. Add some of the stew into a shallow bowl. And we'll garnish it with some fresh parsley. Check it out, our potaje de verduras is done. A beautiful Spanish vegetable stew, easy to make, came together in about 40 minutes, and once again, the kind of food that's gonna warm your soul with so much goodness. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. So if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse today, I apologize. Over the weekend, I sang some karaoke and I got a little out of hand. Anyways, cannot wait to try this. Try to grab a little bit of everything. Here we go. Instantly warms your soul. And I'm telling you, it's a chilly day out today, so this really hits a spot. But for me, the beauty of this stew is that thickener we added in there at the end with the garlic, the bread, the saffron, and the parsley, taking this to the next level of goodness, folks. Easy to make, comes together in about 40 minutes. Serve it next to a bottle of Spanish wine. You're gonna have yourself one heck of a beautiful meal. Really quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Brian Skeever, Justin Zollers, Georgia Candiotti, Kelly Lorang, and Mary B. Markovich. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below, and as always, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.